Hi everyone, this is the start of a new reading vlog. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing in this vlog or how long it's going to last, but I just want to read some good books and talk about them and take you along through moments of my little life. So stay tuned. I'm going to be reading some fantasy right now, and I'll let you know what I'm reading. So right now I'm gonna go on a walk outside. It is a beautiful, like 56-degree day here in Michigan. So I'm gonna walk around my neighborhood and listen to this. This is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. I did a vlog where I read Assassin's Apprentice earlier this year. I really enjoyed Assassin's Apprentice. I gave it 4 stars. This is the second book in the series. It is junky. I've actually mostly been listening to the audiobook. Sometimes I will read along with the audiobook and follow it along physically. I think when I have a bit more time, I will probably read the majority of this with my eyes while listening to the audiobook, but I can't tell you too much about what's going on in here. Essentially, we have this kingdom where there is magic, but only a few people have access to this magic, and it really feels more like a medieval history, court politics, war kind of novel. There's some really dark things going on in the kingdom. Our main character, Fitz, is a bastard, and he is also, well, he's the king's bastard. Actually, no, he's not the king's bastard. He is a bastard of one of the princes who actually abdicated his throne, and he is now dead. So he's not the king's son. Fitz has been trained as an assassin for the king, and he also has access to this magic. So things are going on. I can't really tell you what's going on exactly because that would be a spoiler, but I'm very much enjoying this. It feels like the kind of book where I can just pick it up and just dive right back into this world. I don't have to concentrate super hard or kind of strain my brain to follow along. It just feels like I'm just completely immersed in the story, and that is so hard to find. So I'm really thankful that I'm loving this so much. It is very slow. Not a ton has happened, and it's a very long book, so I'm hoping it builds to something really explosive. Okay, my other read right now is To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Moniquill Blackgoose. I did look up how to pronounce Moniquill, and I literally could not find an interview with the author or the author themselves saying their name, so apologies if I didn't pronounce that correctly. However, in this book, there is actually a pronunciation guide for all the names, so that's really cool. But I haven't told you what this is about. This is a library book. I didn't actually mean to get any library books because I have so many physical TBR books that I want to get to, but I saw this and I could not resist. I feel like the easiest way to pitch this is Fourth Wing, but make it indigenous. I haven't actually read Fourth Wing, but to my understanding, Fourth Wing is about a dragon rider academy, and there is a dragon academy in here. That's the main premise of the story. So this is an indigenous author, and we are in 1842 on our main character. Anakus is an indigenous young woman. She's 15, and I'm pretty sure this is taking place in North America on the East Coast. There is a map. And all of the place names are different. Sometimes that bothers me, but right now it's fine. It's basically like our world, but a lot of things are different. So she is living in this village, in this indigenous community, and they have not had dragons for many, many years. None of the elders even remember dragons, but she actually bonds with a dragon. And before long, the colonizers, basically the English, but they're called Anglish, with an A. The English people are like, no, this is not acceptable. You have to register this dragon. You have to be properly trained in how to handle this dragon. And so she's essentially forced to go to this dragon academy run by the colonizers. Right now I'm 95 pages in, and I have to say I'm really enjoying this. The old-timey, like 1800s American setting is so interesting. I don't think I've ever read a fantasy book in like colonial America. It's so interesting, especially from like an indigenous perspective, because we have, you know, commentary on colonization and academia, but there's dragons. I mean, it's literally so good so far. And also there seems to be some other like almost like sci-fi elements that are going on as well that we haven't learned too much about. So where I'm at, she's kind of just gotten to the Dragon Academy. She hasn't started her classes yet. And the dragon is so cute, and some of the descriptions are like kind of like how a cat would act. Like at one point the baby dragon like curls up in a patch of sun like a cat. It's so cute. I'm actually in my last few weeks of grad school and I'm working part-time, so I am pretty busy, but I feel like I have enough time to read, and I've really been missing vlogging. So I'm starting this vlog and I think it's gonna last a few weeks, and I'm just gonna tell you guys about what books I finish and how I feel about them and take you along for some cute little moments. So let's go on a walk. So it's the next day and I have made a bit of progress in Royal Assassin. So right now I'm on page 282, which is, according to the audiobook, about 42% into this book. I think it's like 670 something pages. I haven't read such a long fantasy book in so long, and it's just really fun to just dive into such a long text and be in the same plot and world and with the same characters for so long. I think there's kind of this push to like read as many books as I can, and even though like I have a very small YouTube channel and nobody's like really counting on me to read X amount of books, I feel this weird pressure to like read a ton of books and like be super productive and get through things and be able to create content about that. But at the end of the day, reading is for fun, for enjoyment, for learning, whatever. And I don't really care if this takes me, you know, 3 or 4 weeks to read, because it's so good. Where we're at in the book, I kind of feel like it's a turning point, and I'm thinking that some really big changes are going to happen in our main character's life, and maybe there's going to be a bit more high action stuff going on. And I said it was slow, but it's definitely a lot less slow than the first one. I just think maybe I'm not used to reading such long books. Things have definitely happened, especially in the last like 70 or so pages. I'm really obsessed. This is just like so well crafted. I'm having such a good time. I mean, sometimes it's a bad time because it's sad and there are some really brutal things that are happening, and you know, sometimes it's a bit gross, and you know, medieval fantasy has some violence, for sure. But overall, I'm just like in awe at Robin Hobb's craft, and I love it. This morning I went to Trader Joe's and I just had lunch, and now I think I'm gonna do homework. Hopefully I can get my brain to focus, because I've been having some trouble. I feel like I'm less stressed out about deadlines than I was, and that has kind of taken away my like drive and motivation. So wish me luck, and then if I do decide to do a lot of reading today and I have more feelings, I will update you then. Alright y'all, it's been a rough day. I think we need to start a silly little romance, because as much as I'm enjoying the 2 books I'm reading, I feel like my brain needs something easier and more like fun and quick. And I wouldn't say that either of the fantasy books I'm reading are like particularly easy. I'm not flying through either of them. So I'm gonna start a third book to kind of read when my brain needs a break. I have some arcs on my Kindle that I downloaded from Edelweiss, which is kind of like NetGalley, but for booksellers. Maybe not only for booksellers. I have Pardon My Frenchie by Farrah Rochon, which is a black romance. And the cover looks really cute. There's like a French bulldog in it. I have no idea what it's about. The cover has kind of like a castle in the background, so maybe they're in Europe. I don't know. I have a book called Haunted Ever After by Jen DeLuca, which is apparently like, there's like a haunted house. There's a romance. I think it's in Florida. I don't know. There's The Truth According to Ember, which is an indigenous romance that's coming out in like August. So I do still have time to read that early. And then if for some reason I want to read like a thriller or something, I'm not going to read Lucy Foley's new book right now, but I do have that. And I also have Riley Sager's new book, Middle of the Night. I've literally never read Riley Sager. Like, I feel like it's a little unhinged to like read a book early for an author that you've never read who's like super popular. Anyway, I'll come back to you and let you know which book I chose, or if I don't choose a book, I might just delete this clip, but I'll let you know if I actually start one of these and how it's going and tell you the synopsis. Okay, so the other day when I was like, yeah, it's the romance has a castle on the front, so they're probably going to Europe or something. No. So this takes place in New Orleans, and our main character, well, we have two. Our female character's name is Ashanti. Our male character's name is Thaddeus. No comment. And Ashanti is a small business owner, and she has like a doggy daycare called, I think it's called Barkingham Palace, like Buckingham, but like with bark. And I think the palace in the cover is supposed to be the dog place, so I don't think we're going to Europe. So she owns this doggy daycare place, and Thaddeus comes in one day to pick up his grandma's dog, and Ashanti knows his grandmother, and they're like really good friends, and she really loves his grandmother. And then he is kind of an asshole, very much does not like dogs, is kind of rude, and just like wants to pick up the dog and get out of there. And then a few days later, he ends up like bringing the dog back for this cute little like doggy pageant that they're having for charity. So yeah, I think they're gonna be thrown together because of like something that goes viral about their dogs or something. I think that's gonna be the plot. So far, I think it's very cheesy. Like, I don't want to insult the book because I think there is a place for romances to just be kind of cheesy and silly, and you know, there's very much like this kind of millennial Gen X older kind of humor that's a little bit cringe for me. But at the end of the day, like, I'm only like 15% into it. It could be really cute. I just needed a fun, easy time, easy breezy, beautiful time. But I don't think that this novel is going to be like highly rated for me, and that's okay. I just need something super fun. I am liking the dog content, so that's very cute. But I don't think it's going to be like a new favorite or anything. Hello. It has been a few days since I updated you. Today is Sunday. I spent most of the day at work, and then I came home and laid in bed and watched a YouTube video from one of my favorite booktubers. And then my husband made dinner, so we had like a veggie sheet pan dinner with like cauliflower gnocchi and sausage. Watched some Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and now I'm gonna sit down and read. I think I'm literally at 56% in both Pardon My Frenchie and Royal Assassin, which are such very different books, but Pardon My Frenchie is like 1,000 times shorter. It's so much easier to read very quickly. So my goal is actually to try to finish that book tonight. Sorry, the sun's like shining red on my face and it looks kind of good, but also the shadow is... Anyway, I've been having some mixed feelings about Pardon My Frenchie, because on the one hand it is really fun and easy to read and like cheesy and just like a good time. Like there's not really anything super heavy going on, and I really appreciate that, because I feel like Emily Henry and Abby Jimenez are some of my favorite romance authors, but sometimes the like emotional stakes and like all of the characters' trauma and stuff is just like a lot. And sometimes I just want a fluffy read, but then you get into, you know, the writing not being as good and like some cheesy humor that doesn't really work. So it's a mixed bag. Pretty much what's going on right now is there's this like viral clip of their dogs, and so these two characters are like kind of promoting their businesses together through this like viral moment, and they're going on little like talk shows and being interviewed for the news. So right now they're actually going to New York to be on this like morning show, so probably gonna have some interesting scenes coming up. But I hope that I end up liking it a little bit more than I do currently, because I think right now it's sitting at about a 3-star. So I did end up finishing Pardon My Frenchie last night, and I'm giving it 3.5 stars. I think this was just a good time. I don't think anyone is going to read... Okay, I don't think many people are going to read it and be like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with this. This is like a new favorite. Like, these characters are like living in my head rent free. You know, the way that people kind of like are obsessed with characters in romance books. I don't think that this book is going to have that effect on people, but I also don't think that a lot of people are going to read it and like really dislike it. I think it's just a solid, good time. And then I actually have a DNF. I actually am going to DNF To Shape a Dragon's Breath, which is kind of sad, because when I first started reading this, I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really going to like this. And I think it all comes down to the school setting is kind of boring. Not much is really happening, and I don't feel connected to the characters enough to want to spend like all this time with them, like just going to classes, and like right now they're like visiting the town together, and it's just really quite boring to me. There's a lot of details in this book. I think it's really well written and really well imagined. I think there's some really interesting topics and themes, but like I genuinely like have time to read today. Like I have, I'd say like 3 or 4 hours where I can just read if I want to. And I do want to read, but I don't want to read this. And I think I've been feeling that way for a little bit now. For now, this is a DNF. So maybe let's go pick another book. Is that what we're gonna do? So it's later in the same day. I'm about to go to work. I know I had looked through a few books, but I actually decided to start a book that I have out from the library, and it's Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. Yeah, I have the audiobook checked out from Hoopla, which if you don't know, Hoopla is an app where you can get audiobooks and ebooks and music and TV shows from your library, so highly recommend. This is a really uniquely written romance novel. I can already tell that this author is so intelligent. She's so witty and like cultured, and like the writing is so unique. So we're basically at this university in southern England, and we're kind of following, well, our main character is a Black woman at this college. So there's this like African Caribbean society at this college, and so there's all these like different cliques and groups and popular people, and she's not really a popular girl. She's actually kind of antisocial, but she has this radio show on campus called, what's it called? Brown Sugar? Yeah, Brown Sugar. So if you've ever watched the show Dear White People, it kind of feels like that, actually really feels like that, except in England. And I think the audiobook really helps with the, not that it's like British humor, but I don't know, it helps me to kind of hear these characters with a British accent, with an English accent. And essentially there's this new guy at the college, and his name is Malachi, and Kiki very much like knows all of the people within, like, she calls it Blackwell, like, because the college is called Whitewell, so I think Blackwell is kind of like her nickname for the Black Caucus, like the community. Anyway, so he's new, and she's like, whoa, I don't know you. And she quickly figures out that he is a player, like he is a bad guy. Like if this were Bridgerton, like he would be a rake. She does not want these women to be played by him. So she kind of goes on her radio show and is like warning all the women, like, stay away from him, don't get played, or at least if you're gonna play the game, be an equal player, be the better player. And then I think eventually she's gonna get with him, and it's gonna stir some kind of controversy. I'm really excited. I am kind of obsessed with like learning about like the politics of like this community, and like she's really smart, and so hearing her like say things in class, and like her commentary and the way that she calls people out and kind of assesses like the different cliques and the different women and how they treat each other, it's just really, really interesting. So I'm glad I started this, and I'm probably gonna listen to it on audio unless I have some time where I sit down and listen to it while reading. So yay, I'm gonna go to work now, and I will update you soon. Hi friends, I wanted to do a quick update before I left for work. We are not going to work, I am. So I got these really adorable stickers from work. They had like an Emily Henry like release party, and they're just like so fucking cute. And then I did finish Royal Assassin, which clocks in at about 677 pages. 79 pages, which is by far the longest book I've read in like years, and it was so amazing. This was so well crafted. The way that Robin Hobb just like is slowly opening up more of this world in every single book, and even the characters themselves are unsure of some of the, you know, magic and speculative elements of this world and what's really going on. And there was so much politics, especially in like the second half of this, that I loved so much, and all the intrigue and betrayal and spies and danger in the court was just so interesting. I'm excited to read the last book in the trilogy. I'm a little conflicted if I want to buy more of these books or if I want to just get them from the library, because they're so pretty. But I feel like if I commit to it, like it's gonna be like an entire shelf on my bookshelf, and I really don't have that much book space. So I think the move is to not buy them yet. But this is a 4.5 star book for me. I didn't quite get that 5-star feeling, but I know that Robin Hobb has that in store for me. So there was one point that literally when I was reading, my face was like, so yeah, I wish I had gotten that on camera, but I don't really like filming myself when I read. I feel very self-conscious, like someone's watching me, which hopefully someone is watching this video, but you know what I mean. All right, I'm gonna go to work, and then later on tonight, I'm gonna finish Honey and Spice and tell you what I think of that book, and then the vlog will be over. I just finished Honey and Spice, and I'm giving it 4 stars. I really enjoyed this. I feel like it was a very unique romance novel. Actually, I double checked, and at my bookstore where I work, it's actually shelved under fiction, which is interesting. I think it's just such a unique novel. Her writing style is so beautiful and interesting. The audiobook narrator, it almost sounded like spoken word poetry sometimes. It was really, really cool. Ultimately, I just really loved the college setting. I loved learning about this like society of Black students at this college and like all the politics of their organization and all the drama and the sisterhood and the everything that went down with all those people. Say hello to Mins. Yeah, so I had a really good time. It wasn't a 5-star romance for me. It didn't have quite that feeling, but I really, really liked these characters. I think I would have enjoyed, I don't know, just something wasn't quite 5-star vibes for me. I think maybe it was because I enjoyed the college setting and like the friendships and the drama and the politics and the parties more than the romance itself, even though I really did like the romance. So I wish this were a series. I think it'd be cool if she kind of continued writing in this setting and like wrote more character stories. I would read that. Anyway, that is the end of this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely week, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content from me. Bye!